trust and holy faith, red and green and brown and blue. There are really is all the different roads to play around, take the shed so far away, down the hills and round the bends, tall and sacred beds. Jack Frost! You better hurry.
Thomas.
Or scary Jack Frost might get you.
He's Jack Frost. She whistled nervously. Don't be so silly. Besides, Jack Frost is not scary. Yes, he is. He's all white with a big spiky face. Said James. James knew Jack Frost wasn't scary, but poor Percy wasn't so sure. Percy shivered. Jack Frost is not scary. Jack Frost is not scary. Jack Frost is not scary. Meanwhile, James put the law in his room. Silly Percy, he thought. All seed Oliver Jack Frost. Percy made his last delivery. The station master was very pleased to see him. Oh, Percy, he cried. We only need twice as much goods on to his entries. Don't worry. This is my last stop. You can have mine. So Percy's driver parked him in his siding with only a lantern for company. You scary Jack Frost for fun.
Jack Frost is not scary, Percy. And don't worry, Elizabeth will bring you some more coal in the morning.
If you're sure. And then his driver and fireman went home to bed. Late at night, the icy wind howled. It started to snow. Soon, Percy's face was so cold, an icicle hung from his nose. Percy stuttered, but it didn't sound like Percy. It was so cold, he could hardly make a sound. At last, James was on his way back to the sheds. In the fog, he saw shadows in strange and scary shapes. Scary Jack Frost, he whispered nervously. What was that? Muttered Percy nicely. Scary Jack Frost. The next morning, Elizabeth brought plenty of coal.
Oh my dear.
Elizabeth shoved to Percy.
It looks like Jack Frost really got you, didn't he?
The firelighter started Percy's fire. Soon, his ice mask melted away. So scary Jack Frost is only frost, said Percy happily. And soon he was as warm as toast. When Percy arrived at the sheds, James was bragging to the other engines. I saw scary Jack Frost last night, James huffed. He even knows my name. He also knows that you ran away. And all the engines whistled, including James. But Percy's was the loudest whistle of all.
This is the story of Thomas's Winter Wonderland. It's a winter wonderland. See the snow lay all around. Bells are ringing, ding-a-ling-a-ling, ding-dong. Sleigh bells jingle, home for the holiday we go, rushing to our winter wonderland. It's a winter wonderland. Little engine working hard. Yes, snowplow heaving, chugga-chugga-chug-chug-choo. Bother this silly snow! Don't hold me up, please don't delay. Must get to my winter wonderland. It's Thomas's winter wonderland. Climb on board and join us if you can. See mainline engines rushing to and fro. Festive decorations, people rushing home. Branch line engines circle through the snow. Firesides blaze through winter haze. Happy holiday! Look, everybody! There's Thomas! And Percy! And James and Gordon and Henry! And look! Edwin and Toby too! Home for the holiday we go, rushing to our winter wonderland. It's Thomas's winter wonderland. Climb on board and join us if you can. See Terence tractor clear away the snow. Bertie Bus is wonderful. Just look at him go. Season's greetings, happy holidays. Close your eyes, dream your dreams. See how the magic stays. It's a winter wonderland. See the snow lay all around. Bells are ringing, ding-a-ling, ding-dong. Children singing, home for the holiday we go, rushing to our winter wonderland. Our winter wonderland. Our winter wonderland.
There are lots of freight cars of heavy stone to shunt and pull to finish the tower. Thomas, Stanley and Percy are working hard. It needs a very strong engine to pull all those freight cars. Which engine is the strongest? Is it Thomas, Stanley or Percy? That's right. Stanley is the strongest engine. Is he strong enough to pull the freight cars? No. Stanley is pulling his hardest, but the cars are too heavy. Stanley needs help. He needs Percy or Thomas to help him as a back engine. Which engine do you think most likes to work as a back engine? Is it Thomas or Percy? That's right, it's Percy. While Thomas is busy on his branch line, Percy often works as a back engine. Percy is pushing his hardest and Stanley is pulling his hardest, but the freight cars don't move. They are still too heavy. Thomas, Stanley, and Percy are thinking hard. They want to be really useful, but they don't know what to do. Can you help them? There are 3 engines and lots of freight cars. Do you think the cars can be shunted into 3 trains for 3 engines? Yes, they can. How many freight cars are there now in each train? That's right. There are 2 cars in each train. Do you think Thomas, Stanley, and Percy can each pull 2 freight cars? Yes, you are right. They can. They're all working together to finish the tower. Now it will be ready in time for Sodor Day. Thomas, Stanley, and Percy want to thank you for your help.
On the island of Sodor, Thomas, Stanley, and James were working at the yards. They were shunting trains to take to Great Waterton. They had to arrive on time. Stanley watched James shunting his freight cars. They wiggled and giggled. James quickly biffed and bashed his cars into line.
You're the best biffer I ever seen.
Oh, that was nothing. See how easily I can shunt heavy Hector. James collected Hector. Stanley watched as James shunted Hector to the back of his train. Snow started to fall. I'm ready to leave. I'll see you both at Great Waterton. It's starting to snow, James. You should check the weather with the yard manager. James didn't want to be told what to do by a freight car, especially in front of Thomas and Stanley. I'll decide what we do. The weather doesn't bother me. So James buffered up to his train and steamed slowly out of the yards. James puffed through the countryside. The snow was getting heavier. James stopped at a signal. Harold swooshed in. There's bad weather all over the island. It's very hard to see the tracks. Then, James, we better go to Henry's tunnel. James sniffed. He didn't want to be told what to do by a freight car, especially in front of Harold. I'll decide what we do. We'll take the track through Shen Valley. It's the quickest way. The signal changed, and James puffed away, pushing his train. James arrived at the Shen Valley Junction. Now, the snow was very thick. It made it hard for James to see ahead. James puffed onto the wrong track. James thought he was steaming through Shen Valley, but he wasn't. He was steaming towards the snowy hills. James saw Edward in a siding. He was wearing his snowplow. The ice has made the line ahead very slippery. It will be hard to shunt your train up the hill. James was surprised he was in the hills. I must have taken the wrong track, he thought. I've had to clear snow from lots of lines. We need Edward's help. He could couple up to the front of the train. But James didn't want to be told what to do by a freight car, especially in front of Edward. I'll decide what we do. I can manage on my own. So James puffed slowly towards the hill. James huffed and puffed. He steamed and strained. His face was now as red as his boiler. James arrived at the top of the hill. He was very pleased. Now I can puff fast down the other side, he thought. Then there was trouble. Hector could see a snowslide had blocked the line. Hector knew that if James slowed down at the bottom, they would get stuck in the drift. Onwards, onwards! Don't slow down, James! But James didn't want to be told what to do, especially by a freight car. I'll decide what we do, he huffed to himself. So James applied his brakes. The train smashed into the snow. And it stuck. James couldn't make his delivery. He felt very bad.
James is silly, James is slow, James has got us stuck in the snow.
James wished he had checked with the yard manager about the weather. He wished he hadn't tried to find his way through Shen Valley. And he wished he had asked Edward to be his front engine. Now I know Hector was trying to help me. The freight car giggled. Quiet! Please, Hector, how can I deliver my train on time? Hector was happy to help. I'm a very heavy freight car. We must race down the hill at full speed. Then we will biff the train right through the snow. What a good idea. So Hector was uncoupled from the train. James wished and wished. At last he had hauled Hector back to the top of the hill. Okay, James, go! Hector and James raced faster and faster down the hill. There was a mighty biff, and Hector pushed the train right through the snow. We did it, Hector! Well done! Hector was pleased. Stanley and Thomas were already at Great Waterton. James, Hector, and the train arrived. You made it!
We're definitely worried.
I wasn't worried. Hector helped me all the way. Stanley and Thomas looked surprised. You can always rely on a good freight car. Hector was happy to have helped. And James was happy to have a new friend.